Okay, we're here with our student Rita, and we're going to talk about how to use units in your math problems. And this actually can be really super helpful, and it's kind of cool the way it works too. So you ready to dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, so first let's talk about one particular kind, and that's when we're converting from one unit to another. And we're going to use an example here from the metric system. If we have 3.628 kilometers, okay, how many meters is that? Well, you might be able to do that in your head, but before we do, let's talk about what it is that we're actually doing in our head. What we're doing is we're using something called a conversion factor, okay? We know that there are 1,000 meters in every kilometer, right? You remember that from the metric system?
Yeah.
Okay? So what we can do is we can say, well, 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer, this is just 1, because these two things in the numerator and the denominator are equal, right?
Right.
Okay? So we can multiply this thing right here by anything we want and still keep it equal, because it equals 1. You can multiply anything by 1, right?
Right.
Okay? So we're going to take this 3.628 kilometers up here, and we're going to multiply it by this. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, the thing is it's going to help you to convert from kilometers to meters. That's why it's called a conversion factor. A factor is something that multiplies, and you're using it to convert. Okay?
Okay.
So what you can do here, too, is when you start to work with units, you can separate the units out to one side and the numbers out to the other side. So it looks like something like this. So I'm going to put all the numbers that we have here, the 3.628, the 1,000, and then the 1 over here. And I'm going to put all the units over here. Okay?
Okay.
And then what you can notice is that there's certain things that are going to happen that you can do just as you would with numbers. If you have kilometers over kilometer, and it doesn't matter if it's plural or singular, those things can cancel. Okay? So your units can cancel out, and you can do the math over here. 3.628 times 1,000, you might know that just moves the decimal place 3 times. So that's 3,628. Of course, divided by 1, it just keeps it the same. Mm-hmm. And then what do we have for the units? Well, the kilometers canceled out. So all we have is meters. So the answer to this problem up here is 3,628. And you did that by using a conversion factor. Even if you did it in your head, that's what your head was doing. Okay?
Okay.
So let's review what our strategies or steps to do this were. One is we use that conversion factor, and we can do it because it's just like multiplying by 1. And we separated the numbers and the units. And then we performed the arithmetic for the numbers part. And we canceled out units to get to the right units that we were looking for. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, why should you care about this? Well, if you keep track of your units, it is so helpful because it makes sense of the problem for you a lot of times, and it can catch mistakes. And that's really important. So let's use units in the real world and see if we can do some of this same kind of thinking. And using the units, it'll help us to make more sense of it and make sure we don't make a mistake, okay?
Okay.
All right. So to prepare for a marathon, Jeffrey does 4 running workouts per week, and each workout lasts 2.5 hours. Jeffrey runs 9 miles per hour. How many miles per week does Jeffrey run? So now, I don't know about you, but I lose it about halfway through that problem because there's so many numbers going on and everything. So it's really important when you have a word problem like that, to break it down into its different pieces. So the first question we should ask is, what is it that we're looking for? What units are we looking for?
Let's see.
For the answer.
Yeah, how many miles he goes?
Miles per
hour? Oh, per week.
Per week, right? And we'll go ahead and circle that.
Okay.
That's what we're really looking for. That's what it's asking for, okay? We want to get to that. Okay? So now let's just see if we can play with all the information that's given to us in the problem and then see if that gets us to miles per week. And we can figure out if it doesn't. And that's why units are going to be so helpful here. Because a lot of students, they'll see this and they'll just start dividing, adding, because they just don't know what to do with this crazy problem. But units really help you to know what to do. So let's list the first thing. What's the first piece of information that the problem told us?
He does 4 running workouts a week.
4 workouts per week. So let's go ahead and write that. So we have 4 workouts per week. Okay. Now what's the second piece that they tell us?
Each workout lasts 2.5 hours.
Okay, so it's 2.5 hours per workout. Does that make sense to you so far?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the third piece of information that we have?
That Jeffrey runs 9 miles per hour.
Okay. So then we have 9 miles per hour. And I put a little dot in between each of these because my instinct most of the time is going to be to multiply. Now that might not be the correct thing to do, but our units will tell us, okay? Now we're going to follow the same strategy we did over here. We're going to get the numbers on one side and the units on another. So let's rewrite this problem with that. So I get all the numbers here, 4, 2.5, and 9 over here. And then I'm going to put all of our units here, workouts, hours, miles in the numerator, and week, workout, and hour in the denominator. Okay?
Okay.
Follow so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's first do the arithmetic over here. So this might be a little bit hard to do in your head, but 4 times 2.5, what's 2 times 2.5?
5.
5. So 4 must be double that. So what's double of 5?
10.
10. So 4 times 2.5, that's 10. And then what's 10 times 9?
90.
Okay. You could also use a calculator if you wanted for that, but you could probably do that one in your head as well. So there's 90. Now let's deal with all these units to see if we're doing the right thing. So you might notice that first of all, workouts cancel, right?
Right.
Do you see anything else that'll cancel?
Let's see. Hours.
Yep, the hours and the hour, right? So what does that leave us as far as the units that are left?
Miles per week.
Okay, good. So let's write that. Now, is that what we were looking for?
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So by identifying what it is that we were looking for and then playing with the different, each one of these is actually a conversion factor, just like this, because each one of these is kind of equal to, it's true, it's equal to certain parts of the problem. So if you multiply it out this way, and if the units come out, then you can be confident that you've gotten the right answer and you've done the right arithmetic. So there you have 90 miles per week as your answer, and that's how far Jeffrey runs each week. Great job.
Cool.